she doesn't care. Because at the end of the day, your attention builds her bank account. And your opinion does not matter in the scheme of things. She's got PR. The more she grates your nerves and irritates your demons, the more money she makes. She doesn't care about your opinion. Hello guys, it's me again, the Mindset Re-Engineer, and you are welcome to my channel. It's nice to have you here once again. Thank you so much for listening to my content, making comments, subscribing. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Please keep engaging. I have so much to share. And I really do hope that the content I'm giving you is adding value. Now, my last video, I talked about Keke Palmer. Like we all know, we've been trending. I'm sorry, she's been trending, not we've been trending. Because of the situation she's having with the father of her child, Darius Jackson. And the latest has been that Keke has been granted full custody of her child for the next 8 months, and as well as her filing a restraining order against the father of her child. And she has released stills from a surveillance video about showing some very disturbing images of Darius doing things to her. We need to be really empathetic towards her. It's not easy being a victim, especially someone of Keke's status. You know, those of us who have been in her shoes know how it feels. We feel a lot of shame, but being able to come out and speak for yourself and stop this kind of treatment is very important, and I'm very proud of Keke for making this move. Now, I know that my thumbnail is going to get some people triggered because I'm saying to move like Lori Harvey and not like Keke Palmer. Now, Lori and Keke have been trending this last few weeks for the same reasons, or almost. Lori has broken up with her boyfriend that she dated for almost a year, Damson something. I can't really remember his name. I'll probably put the name there. And he's a high-profile, successful actor. He's been doing really well. And Keke as well has broken up with her, the father of her child, but for different reasons. Now, while I'm not trying to make a comparison between these two beautiful Black women, I am making a comparison. But I want to draw from these two women and give you some gems. I want us to learn from these two women and how to move in this world, because I know that because the sad truth is that at the end of the day, the people that we are seeking validation from, who are the men, don't care. They don't like Lori for just, you know, choosing herself all the time. They don't like the way, to them, she's moving like a man. They think the way she moves from one person to the other is moving like a man. Now, while I do not 100% subscribe to how Lori moves, one thing I will say, though, is that one thing I will say is that there is a marked difference in how these women move. And I want us to learn from them. Now, I took some notes, so pardon me if I have to go through my notes. Now, the key thing we're going to learn between these two girls is the importance of sound counsel, having a mentor and a coach. Now, a lot of us take it for granted when it comes to dating. But where I come from traditionally in Nigeria, women, mothers, aunties, grandmas guide women on how to move, especially when it comes to finding a man to marry. A lot of girls get a lot of guidance. Now, not as much. And I'm not saying that the guidance is always correct, but for the most part, I'm going to be honest with you. In my circle of influence, the ones who got guidance, especially the ones that their mothers were very, very invested in their dating. When I say invested in their dating prospects, and who they eventually picked to marry, they were so invested in things like making sure they kept their figure, making sure they were in shape, making sure that they were very confident and they knew they were the price. These things are very important. There's always this talk of, if a girl has a dad, she should be able to know these things and all of that. And while that is true to a certain extent, a lot of the times it's women who teach women. It's women who guide women. It's mostly mothers who guide their daughters. And I'm here to guide you. So I hope you listen. Now, Lori and Keke have some similarities. Let's talk about the similarities first before we talk about the differences. Lori and Keke are both famous, beautiful Black women who are strong, assertive, and successful in their own rights. Another thing they both have in common is Uncle Steve. Steve Harvey. Yes, Lori's stepdad, her dad. Let's listen to what Steve told Keke in one of his shows. Let's take a listen.
Dating is good,
From Uncle Steve.
Uncle Steve is always trying to get me with the billionaire. I'm like, Uncle Steve, I don't need the billionaires. I just need some simple stuff.
Uncle Steve ain't trying to get you with no billionaire. He trying to get you with somebody that has a plan to have something. That's what I keep trying to get you to do. You can't quit bringing these.
Anytime I see Uncle Steve out, he's like, now I got this guy. He's got a net worth of 300 zillion. And y'all can really create generations of generations
You need
of
something
zillionaires.
with somebody with something. Quit trying to give a boy your lifestyle and he ain't earned it. I'm not saying you gotta be a billionaire, because hell, I ain't a billionaire.
And I've dated some real horrible billionaires, honey. They're not good all the time. Sometimes they're crazy, Steve, and that's why I have to stop taking your advice.
Because you don't listen to who I tell you.
Them billionaires be having 4 and 5 and 6 other wives.
Well, you the one over there and got them. I ain't never bought you nobody like that. You gonna sit your crazy ass up here and say that? You just a lie. You not finna sit up here and act like I done turned you on to some bad dude. You do not listen to me.
I do.
No, you don't. But I didn't tell you to get him.
I'm telling you, liars are liars, rich
This
or
little
poor.
girl right here.
You just have to find who's for you.
Why are you clapping for this ignorant mess right here?
It's true. It's true.
Who I try to tell you to get with, you don't want to hear me. Now all of a sudden he ain't pretty enough. I done told you about these pretty ass
No, the
boys.
one you was...
I done had this talk show 7 years. You ain't ever heard me tell one woman to do nothing she just said. 7 damn years. I have said direct opposite. Then when she go make the mistake, then she come back, I did that. You didn't do a damn thing I told you.
I did.
You need to make 2 lists of what you will accept in a man and what you will not accept in a man.
Okay.
I told you that.
I did that.
No man is going to be all of what you want. He does not exist. You take the don't list and you make sure that the don'ts don't outweigh the do's. There are some deal breakers and there are not. Now, you can find a nice guy, but he has to have a plan because you make a lot of money. What you cannot do is be taking care of nobody else. So what you can't give nobody your lifestyle.
Yeah.
He got to come in here with a lifestyle that you can put it together with.
Do you find that interesting? Now, these are the points I took from it. Steve, who has obviously is a veteran in the industry, wanted to guide Lori on how to move and how to date because he has seen a lot of black women lose out because they dated down. They don't, when you become famous in Hollywood, a lot of these famous stars, yes, we see them on this huge platform and all of that, but a lot of them do not mentally upgrade from where they're coming from. As much as we admire the fact that they stay humble, right? They don't see themselves the way they should be seen. Not saying they should be arrogant, but look, you're a multi-millionaire. You're no longer Keke from the block. You can't, the chances of you dating John from the block and him understanding this life you're living is really slim. And that's what Steve was trying to tell her. I need you to date on your level. And what did Keke say? Oh, I've dated a lot of millionaires and some of them are. There's something to say about women who demonize wealthy, successful men. They make it seem like all bad behaviors are the premise of successful men. Now, the honest truth of the matter is wealth amplifies everything. If you have a horrible personality, wealth will amplify it. If you're a kind person, wealth will amplify it. So wealth is, nasty attitudes and just being liars and cheats. It's not exclusive to wealthy men. Broke men cheat. Broke men deviate. Broke men just do nasty stuff just like them. They're good broke men and they are bad broke men. Now, some of the points he also mentioned was he didn't want her to fall victims of anyone who wanted to use her to come up. You can see them arguing. Keke was defiant. Keke didn't listen. And that is a big problem, especially with the younger ones. They think they know it all. They always have this attitude of, no one can tell me ish. You're going to learn. You're going to learn. If you don't want to learn the easy way, you will learn the hard way. And that's why it's really important to listen to good counsel. Of course, it's important to filter what you're being told. But trust me, you don't know everything. You probably don't know anything. So, after all the advice Steve gives Lori, she goes and does her own thing. And look where she finds herself. She goes to date. And another thing, if you listened, Steve reprimanded her about, oh, you didn't like the person I introduced you to because he wasn't cute. I heard somewhere that someone made this assumption that Keke dated Darius for his looks. I don't know, I'm not here to bash anyone's looks, but Darius is not a looker to me. So I'm not sure where that came from. But Keke did say that I wanted someone cute. So they may be onto something. She probably picked Darius for looks, And some of us make that mistake. We want a guy because he's got a six-pack. We want a guy because he's cute. We want a guy because he's tall. A lot of these things that are not relevant in the scheme of things. 6 packs does not pay the bills. And it's not even sustainable. But I digress. So, pardon my lip smacking. I'm working on it. If Keke listened to Steve, it's possible that her outcome may have been different. Who knows? But she did listen. She thought she knew it. She did what she did. And I'm not bashing her for her mistake. We all make mistakes. I've made mistakes. But let's talk about Lori and what we can learn from Lori. Now, the same Steve and Keke should count herself lucky that she had, because he didn't have to. Steve didn't owe her anything. He didn't have to be a mentor. He wanted to be that uncle. And she didn't even, capitalize on that privilege. Now, Lori, on the other hand, Lori, don't play with Lori. Lori grates people's nerves. She irritates people's demons, both male and female. And it's understandable because women especially have been programmed to be subservient, to be humble, to not, to pour our love, resources, feminine essence and everything to someone else. As much as I understand that as women, when we're born, we are born with our eggs. So from the minute you're born, at least from what I gather, correct me if I'm wrong, you're born with your eggs. So you're kind of born to be in that nurturing capacity. And that is nature. And then nurture, we are groomed to be the helper in homes. Let me speak how it works for me back home, not in my own particular home, because my parents operated differently. But you will see that women are groomed to be homemakers, supporters, and all of that, and the man is groomed to be, to be catered to. And men want women to be discreet about their moves, which I think is wise. They don't want you being, walking out of relationships and leaving a carnage behind of men who are heartbroken. They don't like men eaters. They don't like a woman who just loves herself. I hate to say it threatens quite a number of men. Some men don't care, but trust me, they're not a lot of people who are emotionally strong. That's the honest truth. Because I know for the most part, we women, or at least the women I know, we are constantly trying to restrain ourselves so we don't bruise a man's ego. Nobody cares about our ego. We're not even allowed to have an ego. But the male ego, we have to handle it with kid's glove. We have to walk on eggshells. We have to massage that ego and not hurt it. Otherwise, woe betide us. But I digress again. Now, Keke had this misconstrued idea that when a man has less, he will be humble. And that didn't seem to work. That didn't age well. But yes, we're talking about Lori. Lori has one key element besides Steve. Her mother, Lori Harvey. Now, if you don't know about Lori's mom, Lori, you might have to do some Googling. She has a rather colorful past. But one of the things I like about this woman is, no matter what stories come out about her, she's unscathed. Just like Lori. they just don't care. Your opinion, they know that you want their life. Of course, we don't all want their life, but most people live vicariously through them. These women were brave enough to go for what they want in life. Marjorie moved her family from the hood to Hollywood. And she got Steve to adopt her grown children. Now, if that is not some mad chess moves, please tell me. Tell me if it's not. So, having someone like Marjorie as your mom and mentor to guide you in Hollywood, you will be ahead of the game. And that's why Lori is the way she is. That's why she moves the way she is. That's why she grates on a lot of nerves. That's why she irritates the demons of both male and female. Because for her, she just carries herself like, I'm all that in a bag of chips. I'm the best thing since sliced bread. I'm unattainable. Lori is not a Hollywood star. She's just the stepdaughter of a famous man. But Hollywood stars, female ones, you can count on one hand how many move the way Lori does. Now, more points about Lori. Let me just go directly. Lori knows she's the prize. I'm just going to put in a clip here about her talking about how she feels about herself. Now, I'm not a soul reader. I can't read minds. But as far as I can see, Lori exudes a level of confidence that is unmatched. If there's anything you're going to learn from Lori, you need to learn her confidence move. You need to learn how to love yourself and prioritize yourself. You might say, oh yeah, Lori, has the look, she has the European, she meets the European standard. It doesn't matter. Look, I know people who are the farthest thing from the standard of beauty. But there's one thing I've come to know in this my life, especially as a woman. Confidence is the best accessory you can have. I'm telling you this. Confidence as a woman. It doesn't matter what you look like, whether you're big or slim, tall or short, light or dark. Confidence, it does a lot. And Lori has a truckload of that. Now, a few more things about Lori. I just mentioned that she's got a very great mentor and coach in her dad and mom. And Lori's confidence is, where I come from, we call it abinibi. She was born with it. It seems like from the minute she was born, she was told, oh, you're going to do great things. You're beautiful. You're going to do great things. You're stunning. You're this. Now, we don't all have a Steve Harvey or a Marjorie Harvey to hype us. And some of us may have even been told negative things. But you can reprogram yourself. You can tell yourself the things you want to be. I've done it. Life happened to me, and for a long time, I had a negative programming running in my subconscious. I started to say things to myself in the mirror. It sounded silly. Affirmations, but affirmations are like, you're the ish, you're a bad bee, all of that, and I feel that way now. But let's go back to Lori. Now, some other points about Lori. Despite moving with high-profile men, and Lori only moves with high-profile men, And there's absolutely nothing wrong with her. Because I promise you, she has to pick up the litter. But the most important thing is, she moves with men with high net worth. Remember, she's just an it girl. She's not a Hollywood star. She's not a singer. She doesn't have any remarkable talent that puts her ahead above the rest. But these stars, powerful men, men of stature, men of timber and caliber, pursue her relentlessly. The interesting part is, this girl protects her womb like she only births diamonds. She's not, all over the place having kids for the heck of it. And while this is not to bash women who choose to have children out of wedlock, I must say that there is a thing about dating these high performing and saying, my womb is not worth, you're not worth my womb. That is a flex. I assure you, that is a flex. Now, some other points. I'm sorry, I need to refer to my list so that I don't go off point. More points about Lori. Lori does not stay past her due date. When the relationship no longer serves her, she's out the door. Because she believes in abundance. She knows that there's someone who's waiting for her. Are you aware that Lori was engaged? I think she was engaged when she was like 20. She was really young. She was engaged to a football star, maybe a French footballer somewhere in Europe. And she actually went to live with him. And then she left and she came back. And after him, she's dated way more high-profile guys. Because she knows that her market is selling. She's the prize. She knows what she's worth. And when she's ready to settle down, pardon me, she will settle down. Lori moves in silent. We've mentioned. When she's dating, it's just PR. When the relationship packs up, there is no drama. It's even being said that these men have to sign an NDA. Like, I don't know how true that is, because you're dating the star. He's the star. He's got a reputation to protect. I guess she has one as well. But if she's getting them to sign NDAs, that is a mad flex. Trust me, that is a mad flex. If they're signing that NDA to be with her, that is the flex of the century. Lori does not care about anyone else's opinion. I bet you she hears all the rants, all the insults, people calling her a garden tool, men having their panties in a bunch. And she knows that most of the people who, especially the men who have an opinion of her, they can't even breathe the same air she's breathing. So why should she care? She doesn't care. Your opinion does not count. Our opinion does not count. We just fatten up her bank account. The girl knows that she is the ish. She is the money maker. And she moves like that. And we need to learn some things from this girl and move like that. Lori understands the power of her status, her youth, and that she understands that her beauty is a gift. If you have one of these things, and even if you don't have status, youth, and beauty, if you do, understand that these things carry a lot of weight. And when no one is asking you to be all arrogant about it, understand that it gives you an edge and take full advantage of it. I'm going to do another video about the power of youth a lot of you young, beautiful girls are out there worrying your head silly about the wrong things, worrying about how to get male attention, how to, just wasting your time and energy and effort on all the wrong things. If only you know the power of your youth. Sadly, a lot of us don't find out the power until it's gone. And if you're still young and you've still got your youth, I would love to guide you. So look out for some videos I'm going to do in the future about harnessing the power of your youth. Now, I think we've exhausted the things we can learn from Lori. Let's move on to Keke. And the moves Keke made that messed her up. Keke did not listen to good counsel. They say hindsight is 20/20. You never understand the value of good counsel until you've done your own thing and fallen flat on your face. A wise person learns from other people's mistakes. You don't have to fall into that same pit. Against Steve's advice, Keke dated down. There is a possibility that Keke may have been dealing with some self-esteem issues. Now, hear me out. I don't know for sure. I don't know Keke. A lot of these assumptions I'm making is from whatever content I gather from, the media. But it was said that she dealt with severe acne. And as we know, acne can really do a number on your self-esteem. It might be difficult to believe that, she may have suffered from some sort of low self-esteem because, we just assume that these stars, because they're able to put themselves out there in front of the TV, in front of millions of people and face criticism, their self-esteem is all the way up there. They have self-esteem, so still nothing can be further from the truth. These people suffer from a lot of self-image issues. You will not believe it. And it is possible that her acne made her see herself in a certain way and maybe possibly made her feel like she wasn't deserving of better. My assumption. Now, other moves Keke made. Keke stayed way past her due date. She put out some information during the week that she had been dealing with DV from Darius for a while. And some of you might ask, so why did she stay? I'm going to do another video about why strong, assertive women stay in DV situations, because I know that situation way too personally. It was also said that one of the reasons she stayed was because he continued to say that he would off himself if she left. Now, let me give you some advice. I don't take offing oneself. I don't play with it. I take it very seriously. But I do not appreciate being manipulated with that, especially from a man, a grown adult. Now, I'm not saying that some people are not susceptible to, or a grown adult male is not susceptible to such thoughts. But let me tell you something. You can't save him. If he decides to off himself, I promise you, it has absolutely nothing to do with you. He just wanted to do it all along. If it wasn't you, it was going to be someone else. So the best thing to do with people like that, remove yourself from the situation 110% and call the helpline. Block them, tell their parents, call the professionals who can support those kind of people. If they're really serious, they'll take the help. Otherwise, they're just going to guilt trip you and make your life miserable. So I can imagine if it was Lori, she'll do that. She's like, oh, okay, I can see that, you're really going through a lot, She will express her sympathy and then she'll call 911 or whatever emergency number she needs to call so that you get the help you need. And then she'll support you as much as she can. But she's not going to put her life on hold because... And, the interesting thing is, if somebody is dealing with such thoughts, maybe they should focus on themselves and they shouldn't be in a relationship. You have no business being in a relationship. You need to focus on yourself. You have a lot of issues to deal with. So don't let anyone use that to blackmail you. I'm trying not to be insensitive, but you really cannot do anything about it. You really cannot do anything about that decision. It's entirely up to them. The best you can do is get the professionals to help them and remove yourself from that situation and support them in a healthy way. So, Keke, what else did Keke do? She decides to have a baby. She decides to have a baby with a man she wasn't sure. She didn't marry, basically. And like I said, your womb, your choice. There's absolutely nothing wrong with deciding to not marry whoever you choose to have a child with. But you need to think about the person you decide to share legacy with. Because Keke decided to have a child with this man. And in my opinion, from the way this guy has moved, from the comments he made about the usher thing and all of that, I can see signs of emotional DV. She may not have been aware of those signs, but I strongly believe that this guy had been showing these signs. But then sometimes, people just wear masks and decide, when they want the mask to sleep. It's very possible that in her own case, once he saw that he had put a baby in her, his mask slipped. And like I mentioned in my previous video, DV increases when a woman is pregnant. Now, that information is so mind-boggling. It really does my head in because for me, I just can't wrap my head around it. Somebody is carrying your progeny. Somebody is carrying your seed. Somebody is carrying your child. And then you amp up the DV. Like, are you normal? You should be in the zoo and those zoo animals should be released. Because how are you in your right thinking mind and think that is proper? To popo the woman that is carrying your seed. I can never understand it. I can never understand it. And any man that does that is worse. Is the lowest of lowest. You don't even qualify to be a primate. You are lower than a primate. Now, more misdemeanors of Keke. I'm sorry. Ultimately, this individual embarrassed her. And it's possible that she stayed way past her due date because she was concerned about the backlash. Because remember when the whole Usher debacle happened, a lot of women were advocating, you need to leave him. This is emotional DV and all of that. And why I do not believe in, listening to what the netizens are saying about, the affairs of your life. I bet people who are close and dear to her, they tell her, baby girl, this is not looking good. You need to walk away. But, she had to process this thing by herself. So despite the fact that she did not choose the billionaire, she did not choose the guy on her level and all that, she still ended up with a guy who was using her for a come-up, who still dated her. And that's just really sad. The painful thing about all of this, like I said earlier on, is I was, scrolling through my timeline and, I sometimes, avail myself of some of the manosphere content just to have a balanced view of things, And the way this particular content creator dissected Keke's case and the comment section, I was like, look, just do you. These men don't care. As far as I'm concerned, their agenda is not to bring back good morals and all of that. Yes, that's what they front. But the agenda is to break women's self-esteem, disempowerment, so that men can have it easy like they used to. That's what I've come to conclude, because the lack of empathy they had for Keke, the way they twisted everything, the way they just made up. Look, I do know that some women use DV as a crutch to hurt the men, even though the men are innocent. But trust me, the portion of women who do this are very few. There was no sympathy. And of course, they bash Lori. So at the end of the day, you're not going to win. If you want to date a successful guy, if you want to date your spec, please, by all means, I don't want to say don't settle, because don't settle, that word comes with a lot of it's a very, very pregnant word. But do you with caution. Most importantly, don't listen to what these people are saying. Don't listen to what these men are saying. Look for men in your life that are good role models and listen to what they have to say. The majority of the noisemakers out there, trust me, they don't care. Now, at the end of the day, what can we take? What's our takeaway from this scenario? Firstly, and most important, if you are experiencing DV, either emotionally, financially, mentally, or physically, please seek help. The sad part about men who DV is they rarely ever change. There is nothing you can do to change him. Even Jesus Christ cannot change some of them, most of them. It doesn't get better. It's also important that you understand the subtle signs, especially emotional DV. Like when I was experiencing emotional DV, until I spoke to counselors, I had no clue. Because sadly, I had been conditioned to accept that kind of treatment. So for me, it was normalized. How do you know what you don't know? And this is the reason why I decided to put myself out there. Because in my own journey and experience, I uncovered a lot of things. And I was lucky that I had access to these knowledge, tools, resources, therapy, and all of that to build myself back up. And I know that there are lots of women out there who who are where I was in the past, and they feel stuck, and they feel like they can't find their way out of their situation. I mean, Keke is a famous, successful, multi-award winning, celebrated actress. And she still fell victim to this. She's strong, she's assertive. She looks like someone like if you knock if you buck. But she still was susceptible to this. So what I would say, the only way to be immune to DV is to be like Lori, to love yourself. Because when you love yourself, you set the standard by which people will treat you. You don't tolerate subpar behavior from romantic relationships, family, friends, and colleagues. You might even lose friends and family because it's all crabs in a barrel. Some people don't want to see that new version of you. A lot of us are in codependency relationships. We decide to change and be who God wants us to be. People will fall apart. They won't know what to do. They won't know what to do with the new you. But you shouldn't care. Because, honey, child, you came in this world alone. Even if you came with a twin, you're going to live alone. You're not going to live with your twin. Just saying. Lori is DV proof, is BS proof, because the girl loves herself. And the phrase is so easy. Love yourself. We say it all the time. You can never understand it until you go through the journey, I meant to say. And that is the whole point of my content. I want you to re-engineer your mindset by going through this journey of self-discovery with me. I want to teach you the things that I have learned. The things that you will do, and people will say, oh, who do you think you are? You think you're all that. Trust me, you are all that. It's not even about arrogance. Because most people think that when you love yourself, it's arrogance. It's we all need a healthy dose of narcissism. Where you prioritize yourself and, you think you're the ish. That's the only way you can, be DV proof. Whether it's emotional or otherwise. When people start messing with your boundaries, you call them out. And when they don't comply, you're out. And when they know that you're out when you don't comply, they behave themselves. I'm not just speaking from the side of my mouth. This is lived experience. I have lived this experience. And I'm not kidding you. When I started to move different and I saw the results, trust me, I was just as shocked. It did not make sense to me. Because that's not what I was taught. I was taught different. I was taught, give all of yourself. The more you do, the more he will love you. He's not happy because it's you. You need to try harder. You need to do more. You need to do all of this. But they never cared. The more I gave, the more they stepped on me. They wore bigger boots. If they were wearing, regular boots, they moved on to Doc Martens. Then after Doc Martens, they moved on to some military boots. They just kept stepping on me. The more I gave of myself, the more they stepped all over me. But when I decided to withdraw myself from the situation, I said, you know what? I'm gonna do me. And this is not just romantic relationships. Sadly, male friends, ex-schoolmates, colleagues, and even female friends. When I decide to keep strong boundaries, I'm like, if you play with me, you will get it. Nobody's immune to getting it. And I didn't just threaten. I didn't just, it wasn't just words. What I said I'll do, I will do. And so when the actions followed the word, they knew that Missy isn't playing. She's not playing. And everybody adjusted accordingly. It's a journey. It's not something that can be altered or reversed in one day. This day you learn that you cannot undo a programming that has been running subconsciously in you for an average of a decade. The sooner you will dedicate time and effort into undoing that programming and running the programming that will give you a better quality of life. Now, I don't want this video to get any longer, but I do hope that I have been able to give you enough information, resources, and knowledge for you to reflect on. I just really love you to engage with this channel. I'd like to see your comments about your thoughts. Please please share. If you think that you're getting value from this, please share, and engage with me. Of course, your subscription means a lot to me, and it will encourage me to keep making more. But guess what? Regardless, I will still keep making more videos because I know people need to. I believe I've got something to say, and some people need what I have to say. But I do appreciate all the engagement I get on this channel. Finally, we've come to the end of this channel. Oh, sorry, we've come to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed spending some time with me. I appreciate you taking time to listen to me and what I have to say. Please, let's continue in this journey of self-discovery and evolve into better versions of ourselves. Until we meet again, it's me, the Mindset Re-Engineer. Thank you for watching. Please share, subscribe, and leave a comment. It means a lot to me. Until we meet again, it's ciao.